don't think you're a better person and it gives you the right to bully other people just because your gear in the game is better. Hello, darlings! It's gaming rant time. And I haven't done these in quite a while. So strap in. And my freezer just started. So at the time that I'm recording this happened yesterday. I got bullied in SWTOR. Yes, bullied. Me, an adult, bullied. I'm still baffled. So I was on one of my favorite characters, my sniper, Shader, Shiz, whom I've been playing for a while. You know, I'm no longer an active subscriber in SWTOR, but you know, quick backstory. I go in a few times a year. Instead of just getting the 1 week for free of subscription time, I actually paid for 2 months of sub time. And so I've been playing on different alts and I've been trying to prioritize characters I haven't played in ages. So anyway, I've been leveling Shader through flashpoints, and so recently I hit 75. Last night, I enter Flashpoint. After doing multiple flashpoints, this week even just with the same character with various characters. It's in the middle of a flashpoint. So I arrive in the middle of a flashpoint. That means someone left the group. They're at a specific boss fight, and it's very difficult to do that specific boss without a tank, and we're all DPS. So, you know, and someone mentioned that at some point it was the 5th try, it was the 3rd try with me in the group, meaning they had wiped twice before I joined the group. But right away from the first wipe after I join, 2 of the players start criticizing me for the way that I'm playing, which is no different than the way I always play this character. And it's not the typical like, oh, you should probably be the one hitting the Kolto tanks because you're taking more aggro than your gear can handle right now, or I wasn't the highest level, but the other day it was like, oh, you're the highest level, you're taking the most aggro, here's a strategy, you know, like, no strategizing or anything like that. Just plain out criticizing me and then saying, you don't know how to play. You're a bad player. You don't know how to play this game. So I'm like, hello? I've been playing since Rise of the Hutt Cartel, okay? Even if I am no longer an active subscriber, like I've been playing since Rise of the Hutt Cartel. I think I know how to play this game. And I have a character in every single class, except Gunslinger, which I created one last night, so there. But I haven't played a Gunslinger, so I was like, okay. But like, I have 25 characters. Like, I don't know if that's something I should be proud of. And it's not just like, is this a new character that you created at a higher level, or is this your first time playing a sniper or whatever? Just accusatory and just very attacking, you know, right off the bat. So obviously I'm like defensive, because I'm like, whoa, okay, why am I being, I feel affronted. Why are these people talking to me like this? Like, you're not wiping because of me, you know? So I'm like, well, this boss fight is difficult without a tank, nearly impossible. So I'm like, this is practically impossible. And they're like, no, that's not true, whatever. I've done it without a tank for like tactical flashpoints, duh. But nearly impossible. Like, we wipe a lot without an actual tank to take the aggro off everyone else. So I'm being berated and accused of not knowing how to play, not knowing how to play a sniper, not even being called noob. Like, I've been called noob before. Call me a noob if I'm acting like a noob, you know? Or like sometimes I'm like, I feel like a noob. No, not even saying the word noob. Just like, you don't know how to play. We're wiping because of you. Like, no, you wiped before I arrived here anyway. So maybe that's why the other person left, you know, like really attacking me. And then they check my gear. So I'm at level 75. I dinged level 75 recently, but like in SWTOR, you get like this renown thing. So you keep gaining XP after you hit the max level, which right now it's 75. And so you can keep getting gear. You get a full set of gear from the Onslaught expansion, which I have not done on Shader. I have my reasons for it. I don't need to justify myself to players when I enter Flash. Oh, by the way, long paragraph of text of backstory of why I have level 70 gear. I didn't do Onslaught because I want to record it, and I can't really do recordings with audio anymore because the quality is really poor. It keeps degrading, and I'm saving up for a new laptop. I don't need to explain all that to these people. I have my reasons. You can level in multiple ways, and so I leveled through flashpoints. I'm waiting to do Onslaught later, but I don't need to tell them this. Who cares? You know, I'm telling you this. Maybe you care. I care because it's my character, but like it doesn't matter for the flashpoint. So I dinged 75 recently during the Gree event. I wasn't getting the proper drops, which is funny because on another character that dinged 75 just this week, I got amazing drops of gear. So it's not very proportionate, or maybe it was a bug. I don't know. I don't care. When I have the drops, I put in the good gear. So I'm level 70 gear at level 75. Okay, so maybe I'm getting more aggro than my gear can handle. That's why there are Kolto tanks, and that's why I'm not doing hard mode or anything like that, you know? Just having fun here, because that's why I play, to have fun. So, duh, why else would you play? Like, if not just to have fun. So then it start berating me for the gear, for the level 70 gear at level 75. I was like, just didn't drop. Like, okay, whatever. You know, like, how can you even be in this game? Like, like freaking elitists, man. And I mean, back when level 55 was the max, I played with elitists, but I was on my main Rosie and I had purple gear, the high tier gear. So they always found a way to politely tell me that my gear was crap type thing, according to them. And I know that there are some operations and hard modes you need specific type of gear, but this is a tactical. And you do the tactical so that gear, that level 75 gear drops. And on Fleet, which is where you can buy several things, you have several gear vendors, but there's no level 75 gear vendor. There's level 70 and that's it. So I'm like, why do you think I'm doing this flashpoint? Why do you think I'm enjoying like playing, you know, so that I can get the gear? Anyway, I don't need to justify myself to these people, to these elitists, these bullies. And so like, really like, bringing really like 6-year-olds in the schoolyard. It's a personal choice in game to have leveled differently than doing the expansion, but it's not wrong. And then acting as though I'm the reason they keep wiping, as though I did something wrong and got caught. Ooh, Binky did something terrible. She's wearing lower tier gear. Such a terrible person. It should be illegal. Like, what? Anyway, they didn't say that. That's me venting. You see my face is getting all pink and red. And that's one thing. So by this time, because of the language, because of the way these two particular players are communicating with me, I feel flustered. My ADD is kicking in, whatever. I'm feeling defensive, I'm feeling attacked. And I fall into the trap of justifying myself, which had I recognized earlier, like I should have just left the group earlier. But anyway, I meant to say that because they're saying that I don't know how to play, that I don't know this game, that whatever. So I meant to write that I've been playing for years, I know this game, and I've had this character for years, regardless of whether I've leveled him recently or not, you know? What I ended up typing meant, because I switched things around and I forgot something else that was in my head. So what I ended up typing actually was saying that I've been playing this guy for years. But that is true. You know, like thinking of it, I'm like, yeah, I have been playing this guy for years, on and off. And just because I recently dinged 75 doesn't mean I haven't been playing him at all. I have had this character for years and been playing this character for years. Maybe not as long as my very first character, Rosie, on Pubside. But like, so what I typed was still accurate, is still true, and is still perfectly fine. It doesn't mean that I don't know how to play. It doesn't mean that the character should have better gear or I should have leveled him faster. I don't play every day. I don't play like, you know? So then I realized that these people don't understand what I meant. And so I clarify. And then they're like, smells like bullshit, looks like bullshit. You don't at me, YouTube. Smells like BS, looks like BS, probably is BS. And then they start telling me that I'm a BS player, that I'm a BS person, that my character is BS, like everything about me is BS. Like, what the F? What the fuck? I fell into the trap of justifying myself. I'm like, okay, I should have not been communicating back with these people. I realize that now because in all the years that I've been healing from abuse and I've been researching all the types of abuse and bullying as part of it and stuff like that, you know, I thought that I was better trained to recognize and to know what to do. And so, but when you're in the moment and everyone's running around really fast, you're in a flashpoint and you're being attacked like that, in the moment it's like harder to assess. But at some point I stopped Shader, just standing there, and I was like, what am I feeling? So I did a bit of quick internal emotional literacy because I was like, and I was like, my hands were getting clammy, my heart was palpitating, was like beating really fast, I was feeling like really hot, and I was feeling afraid. Like I had this sense of wrongness. And sometimes if you can't recognize what is happening to you by the other person's behavior, sometimes you can recognize what is happening to you by how you're feeling. And so I did a quick assessment. What am I feeling? Fear. And I was like, that's how bullying makes you feel and stuff. And I even went to see my notes about bullying and everything to make sure that I wasn't just imagining things. And yes, there are several layers. I was having an emotional flashback too. But they're like, it's a form of bullying. So I'm correct in that. And my playing is not wrong. I've played with people with piss ass gear before. And, you know, we just help each other out. You know, give each other pointers, figure out a strategy, give each other tips and stuff, you know, in a polite way. And I've played with very decent people as well, you know. But, oh my goodness. Maker preserve me. So when I realized what was happening, how I was feeling, I left the group, which happened to be right before the last boss fight. so I was like, I'm not taking this anymore. And then one of those players whispers me, which is like a message, like a private message, saying, you just proved her point, you're so full of BS. I was like, ignore, which kind of sucks because when you ignore a player, like, okay, they've changed it, it's not just the one character on your character, it's your entire legacy that ignores their entire legacy. So you won't be grouped with them and they can't message you anymore. But if they try to message you, they get a pop-up saying that you ignored them. And so I was feeling, no, I don't want them to know, you know, like I was in that, you know. And I want to thank everyone on Twitter because I tweeted like many tweets, plus tweet, because I was just, you know, hubby was sleeping and I was just like, what's going on? What am I feeling? I need support here right now, you know? So I'm very grateful to everything everyone said, all the support. I just took some time to assess how I was feeling, assess what had happened. I went back, you know, to check the chatting. I was like, okay, I did like that typo, but even what I typed is still true and accurate and doesn't mean that I'm a bad person just for having level 70 gear at level 75. It's like they were acting as though I had done something wrong. And they were probably like thinking like, oh, you got caught. And like, that's the feeling that I got. It was like, well, am I in the wrong? You know, did I do something wrong? And I was like, no. I'm nice, I'm polite, you know, like, what's your problem, man? And I even typed that. I was like, I shouldn't have typed it. I was like, dude, what's your problem? And I was like, okay, no, just leave the group. And I didn't want to go back on the character right away. I was just so riled up. I just did some dinky stuff, you know, did a few funsies on a few other characters. And then I went back on that character, did not remove my Vakarian legacy name. Yes, my legacy name is Vakarian. I've seen other players with Vakarian too, so we're like, woo, Garrus for the win. So I went back on that character because I was thinking there's that third person who wasn't saying anything. I don't know if that third player is of the same opinion as those other two and think that I'm a bad person just for having level 70 gear at level 75. So anyway, I went back and I did another flashpoint and it went well. You know, so I'm like, get back on the saddle, you know, get back on that bike. You fall off, get back on. It really was, I was baffled because I'm an adult. I haven't been bullied like this since a long time. Some of you know I was in an abusive relationship in my early 20s. It's been a long time since then. I've done a lot of internal work, a lot of healing. You know, I'd like to think that I'm at an elite healing level where I would recognize these things or these things. I guess I was like, well, this can't happen to me because I've healed this, or I can't be targeted by bullies or by, you know, just people being jerks. Like, I've met people being jerks online. It's like, I'm a jerk, whatever, you know, but really being attacked like that, it's been a very long time since that happened to me. And I was just really baffled that, wow, this happened to me and this is how I'm feeling. And the wrongness, the fear, the what's going on, the questioning myself, the questioning of what I was writing, what I was saying, going back to see maybe I did do something wrong. Maybe I did say something wrong, you know, and then going to see, no. And I haven't been playing this character any different than I've ever played him, you know. So it really was, it's really an experience. And I honestly thought that at my age, I wouldn't be the target of bullying like that. But it's, I guess it can happen to anyone at any age, and it's okay to feel, you know, those feelings, you know. It's just really took me by surprise and really like, time for a rant. It calls for a rant. And I was telling my husband this morning, I was like, thank the maker, Dragon Age 4 is single player. One of you was asking what's wrong with multiplayer. The players, not to bash on the good people, because there's some genuinely nice people and I've had some nice experiences in SWTOR, being, you know, the Gree event, both factions playing the same area, both factions helping each other, people just being kind and friendly, figuring out strategy, giving each other tips and tricks and stuff, just figuring things out together, how to better play as a team. But I had met jerks, you know, like, I'm grateful for the nice people, and the jerks is just like whatever. But like an experience like this, like really being the target of an attack by people who are basically elitists, you know, all they do is grind that gear. And there's nothing wrong with grinding gear, but don't be elitist about it. Don't mock people who have lower tier gear. Don't degrade them. Don't attack them. You know, don't think you're a better person and it gives you the right to bully other people just because your gear in the game is better. I was really upset about it. I'm baffled. I don't know who those players are. I don't know who's behind the computer screen, how old they are, where they're from, or anything like that. I'm just judging these players by the way they treated me, and it was downright bullying, and that's downright wrong. There we go. Thank the maker. Dragon Age 4 is single player. I like SWTOR. I like some of the multiplayer aspects, but I just prefer to take my time in a game, to play at my pace, to enjoy things. I like to take my time. When you go around bad guys, it takes me longer than everyone else. You know, it just, I told you to strap in. Let me know what your experiences are. Have you been bullied and been the target of an attack like that? And did you recognize that it was bullying when it happened to you? Let me know. Let's have this discussion. Let's share our experiences for multiplayer, whether it's in SWTOR or WoW or Fortnite or any other game. Let me know your experiences in the comments below. And let's share some tips and tricks on how to deal with bullies and just figure out. I know now that I shouldn't argue, and at the first sign of someone like I should probably just leave the group or just ignore them. But yeah, it's in the moment you're caught off guard. I fell into the justification trap, and I once I knew what was going on, I left the group. It was like, you know, it was intense. I really felt it. I'm still feeling it, and now I'm repeating myself, which is one of my trademarks. Anyway, like this video if you like it. A like does not mean you like what happened to me. A like means that you enjoyed me sharing about it. Share your experiences too. Subscribe to be Jimmy Approved if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you all soon. Maseranas. If you're new here and you like my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Like it if you like it, for the like it if you like it dance. You can also follow my website, binkyproductions.com, where I post everything from all my channels. Exclusive! If you want to support me, consider buying my book, Stardust Destinies 1, Variant Facing, Magic, Dragons, Fantasy, all relevant links below. Thank you so much for your time. Your continued viewership is very much appreciated. Maseranas.